And we are live. Welcome to Notes from the Edge, my friends. I'm your host, Lisa Lacy. This is where we have the conversations that we should have been having all along, talking about the things that we don't talk about, but absolutely should be. And today I'd like to welcome my special guest, Steve Barton. Steve is the creator of the Game of 10. It's a framework designed to help high performing leaders, entrepreneurs, or individuals move from fear, self doubt, guilt, and shame into clarity, confidence, and most importantly, alignment with not only their work, but their lives. His work explores awareness, identity, transformation, and the patterns we develop. And this is why we love him on here in order to survive that often continue long after they're no longer needed. And we have been talking about that on our social medias for months and months and months. So today we're going to look at fear, how to move from fear into creativity and alignment. So welcome, Steve, to Notes from the Edge. How are you today?
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for the kind introduction. Very well said. And I'm excited to share this because I've listened to your podcasts and this fits perfectly with it. So thank you for having me on.
It does. It does. I have a feeling we're going to have to cut our time off today. I do. Well, Steve, thank you for joining us. Share a little bit. I always ask people's origin stories first. And what I mean by that is, how did you get from where you were and what you were doing to what you're doing now and helping people go from that fear, guilt, and shame to alignment and clarity, vision, creativity, all the great places? What's your origin story?
Well, I started at 36 years old running my family flower business, third generation. So I took that over at 22 and my father had a stroke. 13 years into it, one of my employees was going to therapy. And 33 years ago, you didn't go to therapy unless you were crazy, right? Or you got asked. The court ordered it.
Been in both.
I chose to go because I was curious. And the therapist, I have a first wife and a final wife. Now I have a girlfriend of 10 years. So my first wife worked at L.L. Bean's, big mail order company in Maine. And she worked her way up from 4 to midnight floor sales to vice president. And it turns out that everybody at the C-suite at Bean's was going to therapy. They couldn't get more hours in the day and could never do enough, be enough, or have enough. So I asked her if what the name of the therapist everyone at Bean's was going to, and I got his name, called him up, and I went to my first session, and he says, "Why are you here?" And I said, "I have everything in the world that I want. I'm not happy." I said, "That is effed up." Mm-hmm. And so he laughed and he said, I said, what can I expect and how long is it going to take? He says, usually I say 3 months, you're halfway there, because I knew I was at. So, and then he said, what you can expect is mental health. And I didn't even know what mental health meant. Okay. Mm-hmm. I didn't even have feelings until and it was all coming all at once. I was reading A Course in Miracles. I was reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I was reading Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, Death and Dying. And I was setting myself up for a huge awakening without even knowing it. Yeah. And so that's how I changed. I mean, within that month and a half, I mean, I had an awakening. I got naturally high to the level of having an out-of-body experience, channeling. My intuition was off the charts. And I had to figure out, how do I assimilate? And how do I act normally?
Yeah, because once you see, you can't unsee. It's like, once you have these experiences, your entire perspective about what it is we're doing here changes, and you cannot unsee that. No.
And once you go sane, people that are around you think you've gone crazy.
They do. Oh, I'm glad my family's not on LinkedIn because I'm the sanest one in the family, guys, but they call me the craziest one. I swear. I
That's
swear.
we have that in common. Okay, we do.
Well, Steve, tell me about the work that you talk a lot about fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame, and my audience hears me ask the same question over and over. What did you perform in order to survive? When you look back on your own life, what was performance for you, and how did you stop playing those roles or that role?
That was a good question because it fits right in with what I just said, because I didn't even know I had feelings until I was 36 years old.
Mm.
So, when you grow up with, I worked with my father in the flower business, and whenever I had feelings, you shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah. Well, down in the swamps of Louisiana, it was suck it up, toughen up, move on.
Yeah.
You don't, no fear, no crying. You just, you do. You just do. Let me ask you this. When you were first like, oh, whoa, I'm going to turn and face these feelings, did they flood in? What was that experience like?
Well, I remember going to the first session with Larry. I think of Mr. Rogers at 70 years old. That's what he was like. He had the cardigan, Mr. Rogers, and he didn't know what to make of me because I just went in for it all. And because I was reading A Course in Miracles, and it was all about forgiveness and trauma, letting go. It's all about letting go. And so I just spewed out everything I could ever think of that happened to me to the time I had my first memory. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. And it was like this pile of guilt and shame in the middle of his floor. And I'm going, wow, this really feels good. I'm leaving it here. He goes, I don't want it. I said, not my problem.
It's yours now. That's what I'm paying you for. I don't want to gloss over that, because a lot of times I spent 20 years running from my emotions in a bottle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Addiction, running. And when I turned to finally face the guilt and the shame and the fear, it was not terrible. It was not terrible. It was not as bad as I thought. And I spent all that time running, drowning my emotions in addiction, only to realize, whoa, this is not that bad. So I do not want to gloss over the fact that you just said turning and facing and feeling your feelings, it feels good.
Yeah, I think the pain is thinking about it, letting it go. So it's I call it the nail in the foot. The nail in the foot, it hurts going in and it hurts coming out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of it was going to transition to this. It's really the thought about letting it go is what the stuck or resistance is. So,
and what do you think we get most attached to for you? What do you think?
We get attached the guilt and the shame, the secret, the shame around what happened. Whether the abuse, physical, mental, sexual, spiritual, all of it, just it's guilt about you were wrong. I think that's what shame is, that knowing that you made a mistake and you were wrong and you did something bad. Guilt is I did something bad. So there's guilt and shame. I think I've heard it said before that shame is the center of a seed and the guilt is the covering of it. So you have both keeping it there, and that holds us back, limits awareness a lot. And then you have self-doubt as well, which you doubt yourself, what's going to happen if I'm in a similar situation? What will I do? So then you get the protective wrapping of that, you got, put up a wall, versus a boundary. And they have that as well. So there's all kinds of weird stuff we do to ourselves to protect ourselves. When we just stop protecting ourselves with loving boundaries, you're good,
I love that you said the difference between a wall and a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And if we protect ourselves with loving boundaries, that's all we have to do. What does a wall look like as opposed to a boundary?
Well, a wall is you just shut it down. And you get triggered by somebody, oh, they're that type.
Yeah.
It's literally, we do it with our chakras,
Energetically, yes. Just like
energetically.
I am no longer available.
Nope.
No.
And where a boundary, loving boundaries is, we talk about fear. You said I talk about fear a lot. Well, I talk about love more. Okay. And there's only two emotions, love and fear. And one is real. Of Course in Miracles says that which is real cannot be threatened. That which is unreal does not exist. Herein lies the peace of God. So we're operating with fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame. The umbrella is fear. Self-doubt, guilt, and shame are underneath it. So once you realize that those are illusions that we oftentimes live from, and I call that the game often played. The traumas, the disappointments are what we oftentimes, when we get stuck in those level of awareness, that's how we see the world. And that's how, and then from that level of awareness, 1 through 9, 1 being totally traumatized, 9 being highly successful, using a little bit of fear for motivation, So those are highly successful people. But they oftentimes, we attract that level of awareness. So everything makes sense, and it doesn't make sense otherwise, because I see it. This is my life. Well, yes, you see it either at 1 or 9, because that's who you are. We attract who we are. That is the law of attraction. We attract who we are.
Yes. An observation is not neutral. That's quantum mechanics, quantum physics. The minute you observe it, you start to change it. And I think we overcomplicate the work. I really, really do. 100%. 100%. I think it's way simpler than we're all making it out to be. So you often speak about the awareness of freedom. Freedom's a big word for me. I've almost lost my freedom in the past. I was never more free when I was facing the loss of my freedom, because I didn't know if I was going to have it. So what do you think the greatest cost of living from a place of fear as opposed to a place of freedom is, for not only us, but for the people we love, care about, and serve?
Well, fear is confinement, because the truth will set you free. And when you know who you are, we're divine beings having a physical experience. I go further, saying we're intentional, goal setting, intuitive, when we allow it and know how to tap into that intention. So we're intentional, intuitive, energetic beings, divine beings, having a physical experience in physical form.
And what happens when we forget that? What happens when we forget that?
We jail ourselves. That's where there's only free will comes at a cost when you leave that knowledge, that wisdom. Yeah. So free will always comes at a cost. What's the price? What are you paying for this? So
that's a great question. Always. What am I paying for this? What's the cost of this perspective? What's the cost of continuing to feel this way? What's the cost of my unwillingness to get curious about change? So I love that. Do you believe that fear, perfectionism, people pleasing, overachievement are misunderstood survival strategies sometimes? Do you believe that?
Misunderstood? Well, they're all different. So you'd have to understand they're all the same template, but they're all so unique. In the game often played, 1 through 9, there's fear, 1 through 9, there's self-doubt, 1 through 9, there's guilt, 1 through 9. Guilt is I did something bad, you did something bad. Shame, 1 through 9, I am bad, you are bad, it's all bad. Okay. So
that's a bad day. It's all bad. Sometimes you still have those, though. No matter how long you've been on this journey, you're still going to have those days where it's like, it's all bad.
That is true. But it's also an illusion. And so
talk to me about that. What do you intentionally tell yourself if you happen to have a day where you wake up and you're like, oh no, it's all bad day.
I don't have those days.
Ah,
I don't have those
no.
days. I don't.
How
I
do
don't.
you not? What has happened for
Well,
you?
let's play the game of 10.
Okay, play. Let's
All right.
play.
I'm gonna have you play with me, okay?
All right, I'll play with
Right.
you. What you
And I
got?
think when I say I am 10, that I am awareness. I am connected. I'm an aspect of God. Okay. Everyone is an aspect of God, period. Okay. We're appointed this at birth. And through life's disappointments or traumas, as they're continuous and get embedded into our psyche, that's our level of awareness, 1 through 9. And so we go from the game of 10 to the game often played. Okay. So if
Okay.
you are having this is an awful day, you're probably operating from, I have good days and bad days. They're probably operating from 5. Okay. Because below 5 gets worse. Okay. There's rock bottom.
Stay at 5, guys. Stay at 5. Bare minimum. Stay at 5.
Stay in 10. Hopefully after this podcast, you'll stay in 10 and stay intentionally staying in 10. Okay. So,
all right, got it.
all right, so repeat after me. I am 10.
I am 10.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I do enough.
I do enough.
I have enough.
I have enough.
Mm-hmm. Those 6 phrases are an active meditation. I was going to say medication.
Also, yes, in a sense, yes.
And they're also statements of truth of who we are.
Yes.
And the first statement is a declaration of that everyone is 10. The next 2 are declarations that of freeing ourselves from guilt and shame. The next 3 put you in present moment awareness. I am, I do, I have. And what a lot of people don't, have you ever read the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle?
Yes.
And he doesn't mention, I asked my chat if he mentions it, because I've read it a couple times and I haven't read it for many years. But he talks about the universal time, which is now, the present moment. He doesn't talk about the universal space, time, space. And the universal time, space is enough. The universal quantity, the universal portion. And when you put those 2 together, now is always enough. You have that put you in a state of grace, gratitude, and you cannot be depressed. You cannot have blockages. You cannot, those 6 phrases set you free. So basically the game of 10 is all about brainwashing yourself.
I love it.
Isn't it?
I love it. Yes.
Well,
I also love that it gets you immediately embodied. I talk a lot about embodiment for trauma survivors, especially for sexual assault survivors. We tend to cut off from the neck down. We disassociate from our bodies completely. The minute you say those phrases, you have just put yourself into the now of embodiment. Yes.
You've aligned with source. Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
What it also does, it shuts off your chatterbox mind. It answers all the questions it's looking for. Did you check this? Did you do this? Did you? I had one person. I'm in a local business group, and it's a BNI, so everyone's a salesperson for everyone in the group. And he comes in one day and he goes, Steve. His name was Steve, and how you doing? He goes, oh my God, I just didn't sleep last night. My brain is racing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, see me after. So we went and did those phrases. And he goes, we did it together like we did. He burst out laughing. He goes, I can't think. I
want those bad thoughts back. Where'd they go? I want my loop back.
He starts laughing hysterically. And I go, you blissing out? He goes, I can't think. I said, if you leave your body, let me know. I'll get you back, help you get back in.
Not safe to be done alone, guys. Not safe to
Yeah,
be done alone. You might
yeah,
have out of body
do it.
experiences.
Well, don't do it. Let you do the other half of what those 6 phrases also do is they open up your subconscious to all the secrets you don't even remember, all the guilt.
Mm.
Okay, so I had during COVID, I had the pleasure of working with Marianne Williamson. I wrote a book and did miracle minded coaching. I was trained at the Gestalt International Study Center, but I've been following her with A Course in Miracles for over 33 years as well. So I got to work with her, and every Wednesday afternoon we had Incubator Church, because I wrote a book with my son, and she was one of my writing coaches, New York Times bestseller, 13 times author, 7 times
Wow.
bestseller. And so I got to know her in that group. The coaching, there was 175 people in that. So I didn't know her. I was just one of many screens, talking heads or non-talking heads in that. But with the writing the book, there were 20 of us, and there were 19 women who were going to change the world, and one 65-year-old boomer, white boomer on this, who is the cause of all the problems. So I knew my place, and they were great. Marianne was great with me. And I think one of the best things that she taught me was who we are and how to see ourselves as tens. Everybody is an aspect of God, special, not special. When you think you're that divine being and nobody else is, you're just as narcissistic as if you think you're less than. Okay,
Yeah.
God doesn't make mistakes, and people do, and you learn from them. Mistakes are made to be learned from, or you will repeat them. And
Well, let's talk about that repeating. Say you've got somebody listening right now who goes, Steve, I am just repeating this relational pattern. I keep picking the same person, the same type of person over and over and over. What would you tell them?
All right. So typically we attract who we are. So if we've got this maladaptive behavior that we're harboring within us subconsciously, don't even know what it is, but everyday life will tell you what it is if you look at it. So that will lead me to how to let go. So Marianne taught a exercise. So we have in above our ears, we have 2 things, temples, right? So she says, create a temple in your mind. There's many ways to forgive, okay? But this one works, and that's all I can say. So there's some rules around. I asked her, I said, create a temple in your mind. So Lisa, create a temple, goddess temple in your mind. It can be religious, it can be...
It's there.
It can be non-religious, secular. It just, mine's like the Oracle of Delphi. I love that one. So, and in that temple, create an altar.
It's there.
So if someone's repeating the same mistakes over and over again, we think we have to forgive the person, place, or situation. We have to forgive the thoughts about the person, place, or situation that happened to us. So forgiving the person, they don't even know they did it. Okay. A. B, you're holding on to it, and we create a story about it, how it traumatizes, how it hurt us, how we're ruined, how it ruined my life. And we repeat these same patterns, and these people come back into our lives. So what I'm saying to you and your audience is to really take a look at it. It doesn't mean you don't feel it. You have to allow it first. It came up. You allow it. You feel it. You observe it. Give it 5, 10. Give it max 15 minutes, max. Because it's not real. It happened. It's not real now, but it's going to keep coming into your life until you let it go, because you're attracted. So any thoughts about feelings, any thoughts about emotions, any thoughts about the person, place, or situation. I was a florist, so I take a bouquet of them and I put them on the altar. All the thoughts I have about this situation or this person are on the altar.
I love that. Forgive the thoughts,
Yes.
not the person, because then you're not, that finger isn't other focused with playing the blame game. It's them. They did this, they did that, they did this. Forgive the thoughts
Yeah.
is a easier jump sometimes, I think, than to forgive the person. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Okay. Many people reach a point where they're like, the things that protected me are no longer working for me. The career, the relationship, the coping strategy, the identity. What do you believe becomes possible once we finally realize that? Once we get to that realization, we may not know where to go next, but what becomes possible when we get to that realization of, oh, you know what? There's more for me. The place you got to, wow, there's more to this than I was seeing.
What do you get by letting go of all this stuff? Everything.
Ah.
Yeah. So once in a great while, I get a person on the discovery call, have its whole 14-question discovery based on these 6 phrases, and if I get someone who just writes 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, either they didn't read the form, I'll find out pretty quickly, or I'll say, what do you need, a friend?
I'm a 10. I'm a 10 across the board. 10.
Yeah, because when you're 10, people who are 9 through 1s think you're crazy. Okay. Good. What are you not seeing? Okay. What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? So what's possible? Everything. You said, well, and I get people I have some people who come to me, I got severe anxiety. I don't know what's going to happen next month. And I worry about it. I said, when did you ever know what's going to happen next month?
Yeah.
No, you don't. So you really have to be comfortable not knowing. Yeah. I love not knowing. You know why? Because life is so exciting when you don't know. And I get so curious that I am obsessed with learning. I'm obsessed with knowledge, finding out
with
stuff.
What's coming up next, right?
Oh God, I still don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm 70 years old. I could die tomorrow, but then again, I also know I don't die. Okay, so that's even exciting. I want to have this body for as long as it serves me and serves others, but I'm not afraid to die, and whatever death is. But that's going to be a new exciting experience. So.
It will, won't it? It will.
Yeah.
I live with a congenital blood disease that does keep me in and out of the hospital with near-death experiences. And my husband and I were having a conversation the other day, and he said, I'm more afraid of you. And he has a strange fear of people dying and happen to marry somebody. Isn't it strange how we attach ourselves to the people who become our greatest teachers? Because he has a weird fear of people dying on him. And he said, I'm more afraid of you dying than you are. And I said, well, I have to face this mortality on a daily basis. I could go right now. I could go at any moment with this, but I am also looking forward to and exciting to whatever we don't know is coming up next. And I know that I will be able to have said, good job, Lisa. That's it. That's all I want. Good job. Job well done.
I threatened my girlfriend that I will haunt you,
Oh no, he knows I'm gonna be haunting him with my I get a little woo-woo too. So there's a woo-woo side to me too. So yeah, he knows. He's well aware. And actually my daughter's like, just tell me a symbol or a sign so that I know that it's you. So we're working on what that's going to be right now. So all right. Okay. If somebody listening today feels trapped by fear, guilt, shame, or a version of themselves they've outgrown, what's one thing, one applicable thing? Because I like to leave people with things that, remember, we overcomplicate all of this. Mm-hmm. What's one thing they can do today to help move into better self-awareness and better alignment?
Listen to this podcast over and over and over again and memorize those phrases.
And give them to us again.
I'm 10. I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have. I'm always right with the awareness that I have. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. Quiets the mind. Stuff will come up. Observe it, allow it, feel it, let it go. Practice letting go. Practice forgiveness. You don't have to forgive the person who did that to you. You just have to let it go from yourself. And then you've broken that bind, those chains that hold you down.
And
So
then you start seeing new people that are on a whole different caliber. My inner circle now, compared to, say, even 5, 10 years ago, night and day difference. But I had to change this, what was
yep,
in here and
yep,
what was in here
yep,
first.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. You will see your life change when you change
Yeah.
and you see things differently. One of the things that can be said when you go to the altar is, I'm willing to see things differently. And
Oh,
that's a
that's
great one.
good.
People, I listen to people, I went to church and I'm praying. I'll pray for you. I said, I'll say to them, every thought is a prayer.
Isn't it?
Whether you say it out loud or you say it or in your mind, you're praying for stuff
It's
to
an
happen.
intention. It's
If
an
you're,
intention.
if you're worrying about stuff to happen, you're heading
You're
for it.
gonna see it. You're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so be aware of it and be aware of the shoulda, woulda, coulda words. I should do. That's guilt. That's shame.
Yeah.
Be aware of the entitlement. I don't deserve this. Well, you do because you're asking for it. So
Yeah.
stop asking for stuff you don't want and start asking for things that you do want. Even want is a need, want. There's nothing I need or want. I have it all, and that's enough right now. I
Already.
set huge intentions. I'm growing my coaching business and I've got huge intentions. I've got huge goals, and I get up every morning and work towards them. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not about settling. It's actually about standing in a firm foundation of who you are and knowing. So you're going from thinking to knowing, and knowing from this place of enough that everything's possible. It's your ground basis right now, today. And then the big goal, the big idea. We're an idea in the mind of 10 or God, and 10 is an idea in the mind of us. So we work from downloading ideas and then using thoughts as a tool. Thoughts are tools. Feelings are tools. Emotions are tools. Our mind is a tool. Our body is a tool. So most people are addicted to those tools. So
One or the other, right? Usually
yeah,
our minds. We
but
just get stuck in them on that hamster wheel loop
yeah,
over and
those are
over with the
yeah.
same story. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the addictions come in to fill the gap between
Mhm.
what you think you are and to who you truly are, which is 10. So if someone's a 5, you got a lot of room for addictions to come in. Eckhart
Mhm.
Tolle says the biggest addiction we have in this world is thinking,
Yeah.
overthinking.
And to our own suffering too. Boy,
Um,
we like to suffer.
and Descartes says suffering, it's thinking, suffering is thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so usually, so it's you're suffering because of using a tool in replacement of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, Steve, if somebody gets this and they are like, man, this guy is on fire and I want some of it, what's the best place for them? Where is the best place for them to go to reach you to start working with you? Where can they find you?
www.steve coaching.com. My book that I wrote with my son, who during COVID is on there. You can download it for free. Nothing's free because you're going to get 5 trickles emails, but ignore them if you want, or you could give me a call and book a discovery call with me. And and then LinkedIn, Steve Barton, High Performance Coaching. And just remember from this podcast, you're all 10. The key is to become aware of it.
And that creates the self-awareness. Well, Steve, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being our guest. One final question that we always close out with on Notes from the Edge here, and it's the question I ask everybody. What did you perform in order to survive? And how did you change that perspective?
I started feeling.
Mm.
I performed that I didn't feel.
Ah, I
Uh,
like the performance.
I didn't know I had feelings because didn't know it. So I had to make believe I didn't have feelings.
Yeah.
Mm.
And when we know better, we do better, right?
Yeah.
When we know better, we do better. I love it. I love it. All right, my friends. Well, what did you perform in order to survive? We always like to leave you here on Notes from the Edge in a reflective state. Steve, thank you so much.
Thank
This
you
is
so much.
going to go across to all the places in the world that good podcasts go to. And thank you for being our guest today. And we will wrap up, guys. This is Lisa Lacy, your host. I am a writer, trauma educator, author of the upcoming memoir, Notes from a Certified Madwoman, with its field guide companion, The Psychology of Performing. Welcome to The Edge and enjoy your day. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.